convening in open session. Call to order, reporting out in closed session, there was nothing to report, no action taken. And we have Oakhurst Elementary School, the color guard, will do the presentation.
Diana, could you speak into the microphone?
Oh, I have it on. Can you hear
I
me?
get to speak closer to you, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have the Oakhurst Elementary School color guard, presentation of the flags, and they will lead the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise to honor our nation in the presenting of our national colors. This color guard is represented by the California Cadet Corps 407th Battalion, located at Oakhurst Elementary School. The California Cadet Corps was established in 1911 and has been preparing students for college and the workforce. OES implemented this after-school program in 2018 and has had more than 100 students attend. The California Cadet Corps program offers leadership training and character development to our 4th and 5th grade students. They learn and implement leadership skills and build high-level character traits. Grizzly 4, Gregory Cooper is today's color sergeant. Also in the color guard are Grizzlies Liam Andarza, Natalie Andarza, and Josiah Morris.
Present the colors. Blue.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Carry colors. Blue. Race. Forward. March. Left.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 4, which is the consent agenda, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I'd like to pull an item from the consent agenda.
Which item would you like to pull?
4A, the approval of the agenda.
Okay, do we have a second?
Aye.
Okay. And so now we,
Roll call vote.
okay, roll call vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, so now we go ahead with the,
Remaining.
okay, so is there a motion to approve the remaining agenda?
I motion to approve the remaining consent agenda.
I'll second.
Thank you, okay. And do we have roll call vote?
Discussion.
Any
Do you
discussion?
guys have
We
any
didn't vote
discussion
yet.
about the remaining consent agenda items?
I don't have any questions.
Oh, so you guys have any questions about the warrants or anything like that?
Not warrants.
Not the warrants,
But
the rest
sorry,
of the items under the
priorities.
consent agenda.
Any discussion on any of these items?
Oh, right, no.
Okay, we have a lot of information here. We just, we have retirement resignation of employees, new salary schedules and job descriptions, approving the disposition of surplus items, approval of donations. Okay, so we did that. Okay then, item 5, what are the items?
Roll call.
Roll call.
Oh, I thought we did that. Okay, sorry. Roll call vote.
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay, motion carries.
Okay, so
Thank you.
that was for the consent agenda with the item pulled.
Okay.
Now,
Now we have to approve the agenda as a whole. Sorry, a lot of details here. Okay, is there a motion to approve the remaining agenda?
I'd like to pull an item from the agenda. No, I'd like to pull an item. I'd like to pull item 8F from the agenda for future meetings, for us to discuss at a future meeting.
Okay, very good. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay,
Discussion.
is there any discussion on that?
So the board policies and, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
administrative regulations as they were presented on the board agenda for review had discrepancies. And so in an effort to ensure that the board has enough time to review those without those discrepancies, that item will be moved to next month's agenda.
Great. Thank you, very good. All right,
Roll call.
roll call vote.
Aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. Okay, we're done with that section.
Back on track.
All righty. Number 5, monthly items and financial reports. Is there a motion to approve the warrants?
I move approval.
A second? Any discussion?
I didn't have anything.
Did you have something, Stephen?
Yeah, I would just like to congratulate the people on their transfers, they're leveling up in the motor division. Yeah, congratulations on that.
For the warrants?
I was,
And that was on number C. And also I want to thank all the people, Mason Williams, the EECU, Julie Greenwood, and Chick Chansey for all contributing to our dinner.
Is this, are you on the right agenda item?
Yeah,
We're on item 5.
it's okay, that was the one before.
He may not
Well,
have
that's
heard
fine.
that we
Oh,
moved
I
on and
have a real trouble hearing you actually.
I think, and I don't have a hard time hearing, but you're very soft and he can't hear you very well.
You know, I
Right.
heard
maybe
myself.
switch, try the other mic maybe.
Or bring it just really close to your mouth.
But those were my comments.
Okay, can you hear me? Test.
That's much
Is
better.
that better?
Thank you.
Okay.
But I think it's your mouth has to be closer to it.
Kind of like singing it. Kiss the mic almost. Okay,
So,
so you finished the comments that you
Do you have any
did.
chance to talk more? Right.
I did actually. Just a quick question. What's a zero Knox cart?
Those are our little electric carts. You'll see our maintenance staff and our principals, as well as some of our coaches for our different sports. There's white ones and tan ones. They're electric carts that we got with a grant a few years ago.
Okay.
So the maintenance staff uses them to get around the campuses, and then the principals and coaches will use them if there's a game and they're going out to the field in case a student needed to be
Okay.
transported or
I
something like
just
that.
never heard that expression before.
I guess I should turn it on, sorry.
I have one question, and I apologize, I didn't, there were 2 on here. I know the first one is on page 6 at the top of 17. The SPED case manager contract virtual, I saw that it said due process, but there were 2 on there. Are those 2 different due processes, or is it like?
One of those is for the due process for the speech and physical therapy that we do virtually.
Okay.
And then the other one is the case manager. Due to us having such a high caseload for special ed, we contract with this agency to do some case managing for the IEPs because each teacher has a certain amount they can case manage. And then we contract with the same agency to do the additional students. Is that correct?
That is correct, but also part of the reason why we needed the virtual case manager is because in one of our special day classes for a large portion of the year, we had a substitute teacher, and a substitute teacher cannot write IEPs or facilitate IEPs. And so we needed help with that. And then we have a combo class situation at one of our sites, which is a RSP and SDC combo. And we have a teacher on special assignment there who also cannot write or facilitate IEPs, so we needed help doing that because we were understaffed with special education teachers that can perform those tasks.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was all I had.
Okay. And I was just curious on the GASB 7.5 full valuation first installment.
What page is that?
That was on 17. I should have asked Tara, but she knows everything from the top of her head, so.
That's our annual actuarial study that they study the cost of the liability for the health and welfare for all the retirees. Once they retire, they still have health and welfare till they reach the Medicare age. So every year, the auditors always will ask if we've done a study. So we go through this company, well, we've used a few different ones, but where they will publish the study that'll be at a future meeting, just saying like, this is what it will cost the district over the next, 20 years to pay these benefits. And then we have our trust, which you've seen other times where we have the balance that's in the trust to cover that cost. So it's just a report that kind of summarizes all the activity it's required for the health and welfare benefits for retirees.
Okay, thank you so much, Terry. You're like a little computer.
Scary sometimes.
Okay. Any other questions on the warrants? Roll call vote, please.
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay. Next item, I'll get out my warrants here. All right, we have item 6, hearing of persons wishing to address the board. I'm just going to read this really quickly. The public may address the board on any matter pertaining to the school district that is not on the agenda. Members of the public may sign up requesting to address the board by filling out a request form and turning it into the board president prior to the start of the meeting. Unless otherwise determined by the board, each person is limited to 3 minutes and 20 minutes per topic if multiple people speak. You may also email our lovely executive secretary, lporter@basslakesd.org prior to 12 p.m. on the date of the meeting if you would like to address the board. Your email will be read by a staff member at the meeting, up to 3 minutes in length. There will be no board discussion and no action will be taken unless listed on a subsequent agenda. The board may also the public may also submit a request to address the board on each of the remaining items on the agenda as those items are taken up by specifying the agenda item on the public comment request form. Last sentence, unless otherwise determined by the board, each person is limited to 2 minutes per item. And we have 2 here. First, we have Mr. Robert Diaz, who'd like to share.
All right, good evening. Wasn't sure what I want to say. I tried to figure out how to spell bid you adieu, but I couldn't. So farewell is my topic today. We have started with our 2 new replacements May 1st, and training is going well with that. My hope was to be able to introduce both of them for you tonight, but Vicki had jury duty today, and I think in the process forgot that the meeting was tonight. So I have one of them here. We have James, who has been with us for 7 or 8 years. 8 years, and he will be taking over the maintenance and operations side. He's probably got the highest learning curve at the moment. Lots to learn with the construction and stuff going on. And then Vicki, who came across the parking lot from the high school and will be doing the transportation. She's jumped right in and she's doing real well. She's already been able to look at, we were trying to get the field trip requests online. She's working on that to try and make that happen. Has some ideas, so there's already some good stuff that I just didn't have time to get to going on. So you will be in good hands, and so this will be my last meeting. Can't say that I haven't had great times here, like all of us, over the months and years, but yeah, this will be the last one. One more last before the end. So thank you. It's been a great run. Chapter 1 is over, and we got to figure out what chapter 2 is. So thank you.
Thank you, Robert.
Our next one is Mr. John Carroll.
That's on for 7C.
Oh,
Item
okay,
7C.
oh, okay.
Are you saying
So you want to comment on a specific item? Alrighty. Number 7, action items. A is to approve the renewal petition for Yosemite Wawona Charter School. Is there a motion to approve?
I motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I second.
Any discussion on this?
I'll just say I love that whole program. I think it's awesome.
Glenn's here. He was here last month where we did the public hearing for the petition to renew the charter school, the renewal of the charter school. And so if it's approved, that'll run through June 30th, 2029. And then I also attached, if you remember last meeting, I let you know that we would have a separate MOU, Memorandum of Understanding for the Special Education Services. And so that is here for you to look at. Of course, I'm authorized to sign off on that per the board, but I thought you would want to look at that. So that's there. Glenn and I have discussed it and we both agree to it. So we will be signing that. And then Glenn was so gracious, of course, attorneys have to put those together. And so we will be splitting the cost with Glenn for that being done. So we have that in place and everything looks good.
Yeah.
So
We're still waiting for a permanent teacher, correct?
permanent teacher, are we still?
We put the ad out and we got about 18 applicants and we whittled it down. We've got 5 or 6 that look really good. So
Nice.
Wonderful.
we're confident we're gonna make this work.
Oh, perfect.
Good.
All right, wonderful. Okay, any further discussion? Okay, roll call vote.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Very good. Very excellent program. Thank you, Mr. Reed. Item 7B, approve reading difficulty screener. Is there a motion to approve this?
I'll approve.
I'll second.
No motion, I mean. Yeah. Just big words.
She motioned, I seconded.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion on this?
Outside the door.
Do you guys have any questions about this?
No.
This is yet another requirement by the state, imagine that. And so, but this is actually, this is good and much needed. We do this pretty much already, but now starting this coming school year, the board has to approve the adoption of the screener, which is going to be Dibbles, which we already have.
Yeah, we use that.
And so we have folks that are already trained on that anyways, and so that's one of the state adopted screeners. And so this is sort of a formality where the board has to approve using that screener, and that is on the list from the letter from Tony Thurman of the screeners that are allowed to be adopted, and the good news was we already had it.
Yeah,
So
we
that's
did
great.
The M class.
Yeah.
was we've been using.
So that's what we'll be doing. We'll be using that and we'll be screening kindergarten through second graders have to have the screener at least once a year.
And now if you see it on the warrants, maybe you'll remember from this, you're like, oh, that's the one we use for the reading screen.
Yeah,
Because every year everybody goes, what's Dibbles?
right. We use it for other things as well, but we'll also be able to use it for this purpose.
Okay.
I have a question. So it says that there's a chart in there that says that we may use a Myra, or is it a Mira? M-class, Roar, or Multitudes, or all the above? Which one do we use? Or-
Dibbles,
M class.
M-class Dibbles, yeah,
I'm just curious about
Yeah.
that. Okay, thank you.
of course.
Okay, approval for this, roll call.
Aye.
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 Aye. Thank you. Item 7C, approve the 2025-2026 summer pool contract with the My Club. Is there a motion?
Do we need to hear a public comment first?
Is this the public comment?
Yes, we can do that first.
Is that
Okay.
I think we have to have a motion first, and
And then the discussion.
then the
And then that
discussion,
should be
and
part of the
public's
discussion.
part of the discussion.
So, someone make a motion? Did someone make a
I
motion?
move approval of the contract with My Club for the pool. Is that
I'll
right?
second.
Okay.
Okay, now it's public comment.
Yes.
Good evening. My name is John Perro. I just got some questions. Hopefully some of you can answer here on the My Club thing. One of the things, because this is a swimming situation, by the way, My Club used to be called the Boys and Girls Club. Why it changed to My Club is, up to speculation, but So a couple questions. These are girls and boys that are going to be swimming over there. Are boys that are pretending to be girls going to be allowed into the girls' bathrooms or dressing rooms? That's one question. Are they going to, if a boy is saying that he wants to be called by a different pronoun, do other students who are swimming have to abide by that? That's another question. On page 3, there's the requirement of a criminal background. So my question on criminal background is, are they scouring social media when they look at criminal background? And are they checking to see whether there's any child porn or any other things such as that? I mean, I don't know if you've been asleep at the wheel, but there's been so many things that have come out in the news over the last few months of sexual abuse in various schools across the country. And I don't know in the criminal background how thorough that is, so I have a question about that. How thorough that is, what do they check?
It's a lot of students that are doing the jobs. It's the lifeguards and then the My Club staff assistants are all students, usually high school students.
Okay, so the staff would have the criminal background then, right?
The ones that already work for My Club.
Right, and then there was something in there about a replacement. If a staff member couldn't make it, has that person had a criminal background?
Yeah, they have to follow the same policies and procedures of employment law.
Okay, so I just, I just think, just simply because it is a swimming situation, I would like to know some of the answer to those questions, because that's a very vulnerable
Well, and
situation.
it's at the high school, so they have female and male restrooms there, and then there's also, I think there's an individual restroom for people to change in or use if they didn't want to.
So if somebody was, if a
These are
boy
little
was
kids.
saying that he was a girl, would he be required to use the restroom? Or the
To my
changing room?
understanding, we're following state laws.
Yeah, we follow all the.
And also,
board policies.
My
State
club-
law and federal law is a lot different now.
So just so you understand, My Club is its own organization and its own entity, and they're their own employer. We contract with them through our extended learning opportunity grants, and we pay them to run the program.
Right.
So all of the questions that you're asking honestly need to be asked of them,
My Club.
of
But
their
the school
directors.
But the school would bear responsibility
No,
for that if
we
something
do not.
happened, right?
We don't hold any of the insurance for it.
Liability,
We
no.
simply pay them to run the program.
Because our
for
students
extended
attend.
learning.
Yeah, and our students attend, so that's why, because we use our grants so that our students have the opportunity to attend a summer learning
So the
program.
school is immune from any,
Correct.
if anything funny happens or whatever. If
Yes,
something criminal or illegal or whatever.
yes.
It's not a school sponsored.
It's not
But
our
the school- But
program.
who's paying for it?
We pay for it, but they are not our employees.
They have-
None of those people are employed.
But wouldn't the school
bus
want to know if they're paying somebody?
Well, you want to know. So if you want to know, you need to ask
Not
them.
tax dollars.
That's fine, but I'm just saying like
We don't.
My
It's
club
not our
follows the
organization.
same rules and regulations, and we contract with them. So, like you said.
But there's something in there about confidential records of information. So are you saying that these are students? So they have, what exactly is a confidential record of information? And
Maybe
the
their social
students-
security number, that when they filled out their application,
right.
things like
And
that.
nothing else on there?
I don't think so. I mean, when it was Boys and Girls Club, I understood that they weren't able to continue sponsoring in the area, so then local people got together to continue the program, and they created My
They
Club.
created their own organization, their own entity,
Yeah.
their own business, essentially.
Because Boys and Girls Club was going mostly to bigger cities or bigger areas.
Okay, but this says that these confidential records are subject to
We would have to ask.
You're looking at the contract?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, so I am with Tara. I believe that has to do with the information that they are giving to them when they are being employed. And that is confidential. They can't share that with people.
Because-
Driver's license number, social security numbers,
They bill
those
us
types
for
of
the
things.
payroll, so I'm assuming that's the main thing we're paying is the payroll. So it'd be those records of the employees for
Right.
payroll purposes, like their routing numbers and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Okay, so the school hires, the school pays for it. but yet
For the service.
you don't know any information about it.
No, we do.
We know a lot of information
She's on
about
the
it,
board.
but no, I'm not on the board. I can't be any more conflict of interest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I used to sit on the board. But what I'm saying is like, we don't employ those people.
And they have their own policies.
And they have their rules and their policies and the things that they're doing.
So if something happened, the person would have to
They would have to,
legally file something
with my club,
with my club.
correct.
And we've done this program for several summers
Okay,
and not had any
Right.
issues.
okay, I was
Yeah.
just curious.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, all
You
right.
could reach out to them.
Clarity helps, right?
Jen-
Clarity helps.
Jen Simmons, she's the My Club director, and if you go on their website, there's an email address and a phone number. So I'm sure you could reach out to her and ask if you could have a time to ask her any of your questions or concerns. She always answers me right back anytime I have a question.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
okay, all right, thanks.
You're welcome. Any other discussion?
Oh, and I just wanted to note on there, there's the two amounts, but we split the contract with Yosemite, so you'll see a note on the top right corner. Bass Lake pays 67% of the total, so the middle column there has the full total, and then to the right of that is the total that we'll pay. Because they do that based on the enrollment and the majority of our students. And then Yosemite does have a small group that comes from Coors Gold and River Gold. So they look at that ratio to figure out what portion Yosemite and Bass Lake will pay.
So last year I did have a question about, that I wanted to verify the changing room protocols. Do you recall that, Michelle, last year?
Don't quote me, right, but I have a slight recollection that I remember that question, and I believe that the response was that they were letting one kid in at a time to change. That's what I remember.
Yes.
It's been a little, I've slept a few times since then, so I'm not for sure, but I remember that being the answer from my club.
And I believe you had mentioned at the time, unless they were siblings, they could go in together, but.
Right,
but
if
they're-
they felt comfortable, if each of the children were okay with that, yeah.
Okay, good.
Yep.
All right, then, do we have a motion? Well, we already did our motion. Okay. Shall we approve it then? Okay. Roll call vote.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So next one. Okay, item 8, information items. A is the academic achievement report. Mrs. Townsend will share this.
Yeah, so several meetings ago, the directive from the board was to create a 5-year plan for academics. And so I got busy on that and I started to work on that, and I have a draft of year 1. I thought that it would be a better use of everyone's time if I just stuck to year 1 and we had conversations about that, because that would drive year 2, year 3, year 4, and so on. So I have before you, and I shared with you year 1 of what has been developed thus far. I've shared it with leadership in the district, and we've had conversations about it, and so it's before you, and hopefully you had some time to look through that. It would take a really long time to go through item by item. It is attached, obviously, to the agenda. Any staff member, community member, anybody who has any questions about it or any comments, I'm happy to have those conversations with them, schedule meetings, so forth. But there it is. Do you guys have any questions, comments? The formatting, I am not in love with. I'm going to change that one. It's the meat and the potatoes right now, right? And then once we feel comfortable with that, then I will format it in a much nicer way. But I wanted to sort of just get the information out there of what we're looking at doing in the district.
Well, I thought it looked pretty good. It says right there, this draft only includes year 1, and it's a draft. It's a first go at it. So
Right.
I know there'll be more. Yeah.
And, you know, it's gonna be a living document, right? Like, there's probably gonna need to be times where we look at it and make some changes and adjustments to it as we go on. But I think having a roadmap and a plan, like we've talked about, some expectations and tied to that and protocols, I don't think that anytime you have those types of things, in my experience, things have gone better. So I'm feeling hopeful that it'll improve things.
So how does it work with curriculum adoption? Are there, at one point, you guys used to have teams that would get together and approve?
Yeah, so the next big adoption is gonna be math, but that won't happen until next year. So we're gonna start developing a committee to start looking at the state adopted curriculum for math. And then, there will be a committee and discussions about which one people like or don't like with recommendations, yeah.
Speaking of curriculum, can you, implement Seeing Stars? Can you explain that?
That's under, special education.
Curriculum, yeah. Implement Seeing Stars in special education classrooms. Is it just a program?
It's a program and they've been, receiving training on that. Honestly, our special education director is gonna be able to speak more intelligently about that, but.
It was on a past agenda because someone had brought it up.
Yeah.
It was
For the
on board,
purchase, right?
and there was
Oh, and
some
the
flyers
trainings.
attached of what it was about. If you look back, you might.
Yeah. So that was a curriculum that the special education teachers really liked and have been talking to the special education department about. And so that was purchased and then training was given on how to implement it.
Any questions on this?
I do have a question, okay, so this was your, first year, draft, and
Right, so
so
that's like for the upcoming year.
upcoming year.
Yeah.
And then, is this going to become an action item in the future that we, need to approve or adopt? And then that would be ideal.
I mean, we don't have to, but if that's something you guys would like to see, we can certainly do that. You know, like with the LCAP, you legally
Yes,
have to
correct.
do all of it, right? So that's sort
I just
of
didn't know when we were
that's a
gonna
local board decision, right? So like if you guys wanna say, okay, I want it to be we wanna see the final fill in the blank.
Mhm.
And then after that, maybe give some time to okay, now that you've finalized year one, that would make sense to now start adding year 2, year 3, year 4, so forth.
I just wasn't sure when we might see, the final draft and then,
Updates. Yeah, because
And then
I think, and maybe we can talk about this at our board workshop when we have our board workshop. I think one of the concerns I might have too is just, when is it going to be, addressed? When are we gonna look at it? When are we gonna evaluate it? And, make sure that things aren't getting forgotten or dropped off, because sometimes that's happened in the past.
Well, clearly this is gonna have to be finalized soon, right? Because we're gonna have to be having lots of conversations across the district on letting people know, implementing it, and so forth, right? So I would think that probably maybe the second meeting in June, right? There should be a final draft. And then, maybe we have conversations when we do the board workshop about how, because we have an academic achievement standing agenda item, right? So do we bring this up here periodically? Do we want to continue to analyze the plan, or do we want to, because what I'm gonna tie to this is kind of like the LCAP is okay, how are we measuring this? What's the metric, right? So do we want to, once you guys see that, do you just want reports on how is that going, right? Or do you want reports on, is the curriculum committee meeting? Is, how are the pacing guides coming along? I don't know, a lot of that is just that's what we do, right? That's what the teachers and the principals and like, that's our work, right? So I don't know how much you guys want to manage that, or if you just want to have academic achievement metrics shared with you periodically. I mean, like we do the iReady stuff and maybe we say like, okay, we also want to see, more local assessment data or we want you on the metrics to say like, okay, there's going to be 4 meetings for curriculum and we want to know those dates and maybe like, how did that meeting go? Like that type of stuff.
I think
I don't know.
that I would be interested in, I know that like you've provided this and it's a draft, but I think that I would like you to orient us to this plan with the details, not that we're making those decisions, you and your staff are, but to have a better understanding of the plan and then for us to make those decisions about when we want to see the updates and what we would like in those updates based on the work that you're doing.
Yes, I think that that's a good plan.
I don't know what you guys think.
I think that sounds good.
Do you want to have a workshop or?
We're already planning a workshop. We're going to be having a workshop, correct?
Yeah, but I don't know that it includes this.
Right, I think that's going to be a really long
It
workshop.
does not.
We're gonna have to have a weekend.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So we'll schedule a separate one for this.
Yeah.
So
That'd
maybe,
be good. I think that'd be good.
Maybe in July? How do we feel about
since
that?
we're working.
We already have a meeting scheduled.
We don't usually meet in July, but there's no
We already
reason.
have one.
Oh, that is one. Yeah, that's right.
We have one, now we'll have 2.
Now we'll have 2.
Um,
We have a lot of work to do. I think it's
We have-
important.
Yeah,
I think we just wanna, stay up to date and
Of course.
not,
Yeah.
and help you figure out if, and when things need to be done. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
So we'll schedule a academic achievement workshop.
Correct.
We need to do that with Denise's input.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I just have a question on objective 4.2, host community events to support families in their children's academic and social emotional development. Do you have an example of a community event you would host?
No. Not really, not like quick off the top of my head.
Yeah, like a nice, when the
I mean, we already do a lot of them, right? But I guess maybe embedding, maybe like when we have back to school night, maybe we're gonna say to the families in room, fill in the blank, and in this room, fill in the blank, room number 1, room number 2. There's going to be a parent workshop on how to best help your children with reading. And maybe a teacher or a principal might volunteer to do a workshop with parents on strategies on how to help their kids with their reading fluency at home. Or maybe we do that for math, or maybe we do that for how to monitor social media for your kids, or maybe we do a workshop on the importance of attending school. Like all of these things that we're focusing on, chronic absenteeism, academic achievement, reducing our suspension rates, like maybe we embed that into what we're already doing, but it's an addition, right? So it doesn't feel like so much more extra things. We can kind of build it into what we're already doing, but maybe what we're already doing is gonna look a little bit differently. Look a little bit different to meet that objective. Does that make sense?
And we talked about last month, Tara was gonna do some bursts, little flyers maybe, just to, for parents to, something like, have you read to your child tonight or something, some kind of encouragement to get them actively involved in that's a really positive thing. Okay. All right, so I think that's it, we're not approving this. That's it?
Yep.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Townsend. Item 8B, we're going to schedule a board governance self-evaluation. So we already talked to all the board members and we decided on the date of July 16th or 18th. Excuse me, I'm sorry, it's July 16th for the board self-evaluation and also a governance workshop to go over our governance handbook. So to look at our vision.
Was that the September
goals.
one?
No, we're not doing September.
Oh, this is
got
July.
moved to July
Oh, okay.
16th at 5:30, so that would be an open meeting.
That's at 5:30.
Correct.
Okay. Is that gonna be here? It's gonna be in the old. Did we
Well,
talk
it's
about
open- It's
location?
open session.
Open session would be here.
It's in July?
It's in-
Yeah.
We're having it
Oh,
July.
but we're not having board meetings.
It's not a regular,
No.
but those meetings have to be, it needs to be a public meeting. Like,
It will be here.
it needs to be posted is the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Agendized and posted, yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
special meeting, yes.
But we can
Do it here.
or we can do the location over there.
I mean,
as
we
long as
don't need to
post it.
probably decide that right now, right?
Okay.
Like, but we'll
Okay.
find a space to do it and that'll be posted on the agenda.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
But it's 5:30 on the July 16th.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Item 8C, enrollment/ADA reports. Oakhurst Elementary, that was just skipped. Oakhurst Elementary has 354, Wasuma 258, OCI 175, and Bliss 21.
So at the last meeting, we had 802 and now we're at 808, so we went up slightly, which is nice to see. But you can see the previous numbers there if you wanted to do a comparison.
Thank you. Item 8D, inter-district transfer reports.
Nothing in or out.
Item 8E is the 2024-2025 Sunshine Proposal, CSEA and CSEA number 757 to Bass Lake Joint Union Elementary School District.
So in the attachment, you see the proposal is to, it's the reopener of the 24-25 negotiations. And so they have Sunshine to open Article 8 benefits, Article 6 grievance, and Article 11 leaves. The district is not sunshining anything for this year that we're wrapping up. And so this is just an information item, and then I'll be in touch with them to schedule a meeting to negotiate these things.
So just for clarification, this is for the current school year that we're in.
Correct. And so there was already negotiations had, but they want to, in part of that negotiation, there's I forget what article it is, but 21 or something, it says that they can reopen what we've already discussed. But it's only like, you can reopen this and 3 other articles. And so they are they're asking to revisit those.
After we already agreed?
Yes.
So it's like a second proposal.
But the district can respond, so I can say.
Yeah, so we'll come to the table with them and we'll listen to what they have to say and we'll do negotiations.
Again.
Uh-huh.
And you're gonna do this before the end of the year?
Yes.
And so any decisions will be like retro, back to the beginning of the
Well,
school
these
year?
are all more articles of like language. What, other than benefits, like grievance and leaves is more in the contract.
Like our language isn't legal.
It might be that, it might be
It might be like they want to add a word like vacation day, or you know what I mean? It
Or,
could be
yeah.
talking about the language. It's not necessarily going to be a
monetary.
fiscal retro thing.
I didn't realize that once you already agreed and approved the previous negotiations. I didn't realize you could reopen them
It's
again in
in
the
the
same
If
year.
you have it in the contract, like
Oh.
if that was
Oh,
part of the
that's part of it.
if that was part of what we negotiated then,
Oh, okay.
that if you want to reopen and look at these things,
Okay.
you can reopen them.
Because
Yeah.
sometimes what's happened is maybe a law or something has been passed about grievances, and maybe our language says you have to file a grievance by this many days, and maybe now the law is 5 days, and so they might just simply want to look at what wording we have and make sure it's updated.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you for the clarification. I appreciate it.
Okay. And so the next item, the consideration adoption of board policy and administrative regulations, board bylaws and exhibit revisions
What's removed?
was removed. It will be on next month's agenda. All right, and we're on item 9, accomplishments and other reasons to celebrate from throughout the district, and we have Oakhurst Elementary School.
All right, let's present this guy. Awesome sauce. Let's try that again. Says that it's, there we go. All right, good evening, everybody. All right, there's some fantastic things to share about OES. Great things are happening. We wrapped up our annual philanthropic event. We raised cash and coins for college. So there's the YHS community event night, community awards, that's the word I'm looking for. And so OES kiddos and staff turned in jars of coins in an effort, and cash and bills too, to raise money. And we, in 3 weeks, the kiddos donated $1,100 to our YHS, seniors. And so we awarded 2 scholarships. 202 $550 scholarships. So that was super exciting. Kids loved it. We have the Super Eagles Performing Troupe come and present a fantastic lesson. Super Eagles Performing Troupe is the the OCI theater elective taught by Miss Dent, and so she brings them over, and so they presented an SEL lesson to our 1st and 2nd grade students. You see the Super Squad up on top, and they taught our kiddos all about calming powers that they can use to calm down when they're feeling upset, like deep breath defense, quiet corner retreat, moving mindfully and counting down. And the kiddos loved it. It was fantastic. Eagles Esports have some new setups. The new setups include new carts and gaming systems and controllers. The carts store everything and keep it all organized neatly so that they can just pull it out and get ready to go instantly. And with the additional gaming sets, 24 students can play at once instead of 16. So they are excited to have that additional capacity. At the Q conference, Mrs. Huddleston and Mrs. Burton learned a new style of tournament play. And so the students basically battle each other for ranking numbers. And it's really spiced up the competition. They enjoy it. So you can see them playing on both sides of the console. And there's some other ones behind in the picture that you can't, that the picture didn't capture. But yeah, they love it. It's very, very engaging. This was, I could not believe this when Mr. Mack shared it with me. 100% of his 3rd grade class are reading at a 3rd grade level or higher. So yeah, it's pretty amazing. I'm blown away. So good job. We had our regional spelling bee at Wasuma Elementary School on April 28th and 29th. And so these were our competitors. And our first grade, fourth grade, and fifth grade students all took first place. So that was super exciting. Yeah. Let's see what else. We've had a lot of twinning happen on campus. Earth Day, a bunch of staff ordered Earth Day shirts, and so that's the picture that you see there on the left. And Christy Newell and Erica Robichaux have been twinning like crazy, and so they wore Easter Peep shirts, and we were, throughout the month of April, we were wearing autism acceptance shirts, and so there's a picture of them there. They have organized a last day of school shirt for the staff, so yeah, you'll see that. And so yeah, they're enjoying themselves and having fun, and I think that they're twins like every single day.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it's pretty funny. Oh, and there's a blank screen. There we go. Upcoming events. We have tons of things happening. Tomorrow we have Mrs. Archer found a BMX air show, and they do it's like an anti-bullying assembly, and so they come and ride bikes, and so that's happening tomorrow, and tomorrow afternoon at OES from 1 to 1:40. I'd love to have you guys come and check it out. On Friday, the third graders are going to the YHS play Alice in Wonderland. First grade is going to the Chappie Zoo, and fifth grade is going to tour OCI. So Friday is like, whew, it's a big day. The TKK kiddos are going to take a field trip to Bass Lake coming up. We have fourth graders going to the Fresno Philharmonic, I believe with Wasuma too, yeah. So Tamara Dent has organized that amazingness, so we're jazzed. We are bringing in our end of the year PBIS experiences that the kids have earned lots of points for and worked hard for that. So we have, somehow I removed the dates and didn't put them back in, but we are going to the PBIS, the Go Play Party Zone. Thank you.
It's a surprise.
Yes, May 23rd. Third graders on the 29th are going to visit the Mariposa Grove. And May 30th, Spirit Night Carnival. So from 5 to 7, I hope you all can join us. We have just tons of field trips coming up. Second grade's going to Happy Goat Farm. We're doing our PBIS Reward Movie Experience. We're going to watch Dogman, grades K-5, could earn that. We have Pastries with Parents on June 6th. Fifth grade Wax Museum in the NPR also on June 6th from 8:30 to 10. We'd love to have you come by for that. PBIS Inflatables Experience, the kids have earned that, our littles are doing that. The bigs, the third through fifth graders are going to the arcade, and our K2 kiddos are doing inflatables, so that'll be fun. And movie academic growth and achievement reward experience, and then of course TK and kinder completion on June 11th from 8:30 to 9:30. So as you can see, like the end of the year is coming in full swing, and I feel like I'm missing. Oh, that's what you're not seeing, actually. That's the blank slide that for some reason you don't see. Let me find it somewhere else. Hold that butt. Let's see. Cool beans. Where did it go? Cool beans. She sent me a slide. There it is. Oh, nope. I'm not telling the truth. Anyway, she did this really fantastic, she got this Cool Beans grant. And so they were cooking in her classroom with here, is this it? Yes, awesome. Okay, let me try casting this awesomeness right here. I love it. Cast. There we go. Love it. So she applied for a Cool Beans grant, and the kiddos are learning how to make the world healthier, greener, and kinder. So they are cooking, engaging the senses. They made a fiesta bean dip with pinto beans and had a great time. So she applied for that grant and they send in money so that they get to do a variety of experiences in the classroom. Mrs. Huddleston, sorry, Stacy Huddleston, 5th grade, important information. So, yeah, so that's what we have going on at OES. Thank you for letting me share.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
And can you send the board all of that information on the upcoming events?
A lot of
I certainly
Let's
will.
try to see. Okay, and next item 10 is our superintendent's report.
I only have a couple items I wanted to announce because a lot of people have been anticipating this for a long time, I think especially out in the community, that we have hired a band teacher and they have signed a contract. So, took a while, but we made it. We made it to the finish line with that one. So that's exciting, and I know Ms. Dent is excited to work with this individual. And then I just wanted to let you know, you guys, board, you may already have the dates, but if you don't, we'll make sure that you have the 8th grade promotion dates, because that'll be coming up. And I know sometimes some of you present awards and those types of things, so we will make sure that you have that information soon. Because that's like,
Yeah.
pretty much tomorrow.
A month away.
Yeah, Asumas is June 9th and OCI is the 10th.
And our school board meeting is the 11th.
Is that right, Tim? Is it the 10th or did it got switched?
That's what the calendar said.
It got switched, right?
Our
Yeah.
board meeting, 18th?
Yeah. So, OCI got switched to the 11th promotion.
Oh,
Oh, it did?
Yeah,
Wait, do
board
we have a
meeting.
school board meeting that night?
No, the board meeting's the 18th and the 25th.
Oh, we moved all
Last
that.
two.
On purpose, because it was,
Apparently I did not.
that
put
really
on
made my heart go.
that's what I thought.
That's what you and I talked about.
I know, we got there. Yeah, I know. I double checked. Well, I
Yeah, we always do
Checked
it
like
the
12
last two
times.
Wednesdays.
Okay,
To have
Can
time
we
to prepare the
review-
budget.
I think it's like the 18th and the 24th.
18th and 25th.
Okay, well, I was close.
You're right, 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, for the public hearing for the LCAP and the budget and
Dated
the adoption.
Neither.
And we need every last
So
minute.
glad. I don't know if I wanna undo that. Okay, so, 18, 20,
Check the website.
We will
is that all?
say those again when we get to next meeting date. Number 13.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Okay,
I like how that's built in.
that's all I have for superintendent report.
thank you. Okay, board member comments. Julie, do you have anything?
Nothing tonight.
Rhonda?
Nothing myself. Oh, wait, no, I do. Robert, thank you. My almost 27-year-old started at Wasuma when he was 5, and you were there ever since. And being an active parent, helping out, you were always so good to help the PTA and help us get everything that we needed to get done. And I know you worked really hard for our district, and I just really appreciate you. And I wish you well in your new adventures, and hopefully you enjoy some non-meeting nights now. Thank you.
My turn? Okay, I was gonna comment on some of that too, but she stole my thunder. But, thank you for your service with us, and I'll still see you in the hardware store. But I also wanted to, congratulate, James Gillespie on stepping up, and we look forward to your fulfilling the big shoes of the MOT department. So thank you.
Is it? Okay. Yes, now you do have big shoes to fill. You're gonna have to go out, icy nights and snowy and report, right? You say that?
That's the transportation.
Oh, that's the other
Yeah,
side,
that's the
okay.
other side.
Lady.
Appreciate this.
Yeah, thank you.
Many nights that Mr. Diaz has gone out and surveyed the roads and
Kept everybody safe.
reported back. Yes, thank you so much.
And I'm sorry, I would like to also say what I was gonna say earlier. But I wanted to thank our donors for chipping in on the recognition dinner coming up and recognize Julie for her donation as well. Thank you.
The month before.
Yes, so we have the appreciation dinner on, is that Tuesday?
The 27th.
The 27th, okay, so we'll see some of you folks there. Okay, so I'm enjoying still very much being in Mrs. Gwynn's kindergarten class, and it's so exciting every week to see the progress. And last Friday, kids are already writing sentences, kindergarten, and it was so impressive, just wonderful. But I was gonna bring up a subject, it is not a nice subject, but good news. There's an organization called Exodus Cry. They are an organization that advocate for the ending of sex trafficking. They have produced a documentary called Nefarious, and they show screenings of that to different governments around the world to end this slavery. And also, good news is they turned in a amicus brief. It's about 38 pages. I was going to send this to some of you, and I'll just read a little bit about what it's about. Exodus Cry's Director of Public Policy wrote a 36-page amicus brief detailing what can be found in today's pornography. And the reason I bring this up is this is affecting children. About 400 million images online.
Is this district business? Does this have to do with what we?
I had a feeling you'd bring it up, Julie. The
Go
reason I
ahead.
bring it up is because we have responsibility with children that we take very seriously, and this does affect children on a very large scale, and that's the reason I'm bringing it up, Julie, thank you. May not be our particular district, but we're dealing with children, and it's a very huge issue, and that's the reason I'm bringing it up. But anyway, this is the Supreme Court will be hearing this case, and it has to do with age consent. They have to be 18 years old in order to view anything online that is obscene, and so I think this is a very positive thing. Children right now are able to access anything, and the pornography of today is not the same as years ago, and it's a very violent, predatory, and indoctrinating of children. So we want to do what we can to protect children. We all have a responsibility, and when you bring things out of darkness into light, that's the first step of being able to eradicate this against children. So, and that's all I wanted to share, and excited for the end of the school year for everyone. Thank you to all the teachers and staff for all the very hard work that you are doing right now. I know there's a lot of issues that you're having to deal with behaviors, but thank you for being so strong. Okay, that's it. Future agenda items, do we have anything for the next time other than those adoption board policies? Anything? No? Okay. Our next meeting date is June, I believe it's the 18th, is Wednesday.
That's correct.
And then we have the following week will be an. Okay, this meeting is adjourned. Good night.
June, let's see, 18th. Surprised I don't.
Well, what about in the meantime? Well, and we already. I know. So people.